Welcome to another deep dive. And today we're going right into the heart of some seriously cool stuff happening in the world of app development.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, we're talking about the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit.
Very cool.
Now, for anyone who's maybe not totally familiar, .NET MAUI, this is Microsoft's framework, right, for building apps that can work across all kinds of devices. We're talking Android, iOS, macOS, Windows, you name it. MAUI handles it.
Yeah, it's like a universal translator for apps. You write the code once, and then boom, it can run smoothly on any platform.
That's right. It's pretty fantastic. And the coolest part is that .NET MAUI, it's open source.
Yeah.
Meaning anyone can jump in and contribute, make it even better.
That's right.
And that's where this community toolkit comes in. It's like this treasure chest full of extra features and tools, all built by developers for developers.
Exactly. It's a real community effort, this constant evolution of ideas and solutions.
So today we're focusing on two big updates to the toolkit that landed between December 2024 and January 2025. First up, we've got support for .NET 9, and then we're also talking about the seriously mind-blowing addition of offline speech recognition.
Yeah, .NET 9 support, that's a huge leap forward.
It is.
Every new version of .NET, they pack it with performance enhancements and all these new features that developers, we really just crave these things.
Absolutely.
The fact that the community toolkit, they jumped on board with .NET 9 so quickly, they even released version 10.0, like right alongside it.
Right.
That shows you how dedicated they are.
Yeah.
They really want to give developers the absolute best tools possible.
Yeah, version 10.0, that's a pretty big deal. But I heard there's maybe a little bit of a catch if you want to use it.
Yeah.
What's the story there?
So, to really get the most out of version 10.0, you're going to need .NET SDK 9.0.10 or later. You have to have that installed.
Gotcha.
No more hanging back with .NET 8.
Right.
And if you're building for Apple devices, you'll also need Xcode 16.1.
Yeah.
Can't forget about that.
So basically, if you're really serious about using this latest and greatest version of the toolkit, it might be time for a tool upgrade.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
And, since we're talking about upgrades, with version 10.0.0, they changed how some things work compared to the older version.
Okay.
In the software world, we call those breaking changes.
Breaking changes, huh? Sounds kind of intense.
Yeah.
Why are those necessary?
Well, it's not as scary as it sounds.
Okay.
Breaking changes just means sometimes you got to tweak some parts of the code when you upgrade.
Gotcha.
So one of the main breaking changes here is all about how behaviors work.
Oh.
Behaviors are like little add-ons that give the elements in your app. It gives them superpowers.
Okay, I'm following. So like making a button change color when you hover over it.
Exactly.
Or maybe making a text box expand when you click on it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So in the old way, these behaviors, they would inherit certain information from their parent element automatically.
Right.
But now developers have to be a little more hands-on.
Okay.
They have to assign that information directly to the behavior. Now, it might sound technical, but it actually gives developers a lot more control over how those behaviors actually work within their app.
Ah, okay. So it's like instead of one size fits all, now it's more of a custom tailored situation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Developers now have more freedom to fine tune how things work. I bet they really like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's all about giving developers the tools they need to create these really personalized and engaging user experiences.
Absolutely.
So, are you ready for something truly mind-blowing?
Bring it on. I am all ears.
All right, well, how about offline speech recognition?
Wait, hold on. You're telling me I can talk to my app even when I don't have internet?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like something straight out of, I don't know, a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Pretty remarkable.
Yep.
So in version 11.0.0, they added this to the existing speech-to-text API.
Okay.
So imagine being able to dictate notes. You can control your app just with your voice or even have conversations with your app, all without needing an internet connection.
That is wild. Okay, before we go any further, I think we got to back up for a second.
Sure.
I'm not sure everyone knows exactly what an API is.
Right.
Could you just give us a real quick explanation?
Yeah, so API stands for Application Programming Interface. It's basically just a way for different pieces of software to talk to each other, like a common language that they both understand.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So this offline speech recognition, it builds on that existing communication framework, but then does its magic without needing the internet.
Exactly. Yep.
That is seriously impressive.
Yeah. It is. And to give you an idea of just how accessible this is for developers, let's take a look at a quick code snippet.
Yep.
This shows how easy it is to implement offline speech recognition right into your app.
Okay.
All right, so it looks like this. public static class MAUI program, public static MAUI app, create my app, var builder, MAUI app create builder, builder.use MAUI Community Toolkit, builder services.add, singleton I offline speech to text, offline speech to text.default, return builder.builder.
Yes, you know what? That's actually a lot simpler than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Looks like developers could just grab that code and boom, they've got offline speech recognition in their apps.
Exactly. Yep. And that's the beauty of the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit. It's all about making those complex things simple, giving developers the tools they need to build amazing apps.
Yeah. You know, speaking of making things easier for developers, while it's great to focus on these big flashy features, I imagine there are a lot of smaller updates and bug fixes that often go unnoticed but are like super important for the overall quality of the toolkit.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
It's like the foundation of a house, right? You don't see it,
Right.
but it's crucial for everything built on top of it.
Yeah.
Versions 10 and 11, they are jam-packed with these smaller but essential improvements.
Gotcha. Can you give us an example, like a bug fix that made a real difference for developers?
Yeah, so there was this issue in a previous version with the status bar on certain devices.
Okay.
It wouldn't display correctly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it might sound like a small thing, but for developers who are really striving for that polished user experience, I mean, that's a big deal.
Totally.
So in one of the updates, they tackled this issue head on. They fixed it, made life a lot easier for developers.
That's great. It's amazing how those seemingly small fixes can really make a huge impact.
Yeah.
It's like when you finally fix that annoying squeak in your car door.
Exactly, yeah.
Suddenly everything feels smoother and more enjoyable.
Exactly. And these updates, they're not just happening randomly. The .NET MUI Community Toolkit, it's always evolving.
Right.
They're constantly releasing new versions.
That's fantastic news for developers who want to stay on the cutting edge. But, I mean, does that also mean we can expect more of those breaking changes?
Well, yeah, you're right. Frequent updates sometimes do lead to breaking changes. But remember, these changes, they're often necessary to improve the functionality, fix underlying issues,
Right.
and introduce those cool new features that we all love.
So it's like a sign that the project's alive. It's kicking, constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Exactly. And you know what? The .NET MAUI Community Toolkit is definitely alive and kicking. In fact, it even got the attention of Microsoft themselves. They even gave it a shout out on their .NET blog.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big endorsement.
Yeah.
It really shows how important this community-driven project is in the whole .NET ecosystem.
Yeah.
So for any of our listeners who are really eager to learn more, where should they go? Where can they dive deeper into this toolkit?
So there are two really fantastic resources. You've got the Microsoft Learn website and then also the toolkit's GitHub repository.
Well,
Microsoft Learn website, that's a great starting point if you're looking for like tutorials and guides. But the GitHub repository, that's where all the magic happens. You can browse the code, see what they're working on, even contribute your own ideas or bug fixes.
yeah, and with, 138 open issues on GitHub,
Yeah.
it's clear that this project's just buzzing with activity.
Mhm.
I love that sense of community and collaboration.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, if you're feeling inspired, definitely check out those resources.
Yeah, for sure.
And stay tuned, because in part 2 of this deep dive, we're going to explore the future of .NET MUI
Okay.
and discuss these mind-boggling innovations that might be just around the corner.
Sounds good.
It's going to be a fascinating conversation, so don't miss it.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're picking up right where we left off, exploring the ever-evolving world of the .NET MUI Community Toolkit. You know what's really fascinating to me? This toolkit isn't just about adding shiny new features. It's like a window into the future of app development.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Take offline speech recognition, for instance. It's not just some cool tech demo. It's a real fundamental shift in how we interact with technology.
Yeah, like we're moving toward a world where our apps are more intuitive, more responsive, almost like an extension of ourselves.
Exactly. And the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit is leading the way, giving developers the power to create these seamless, integrated experiences.
And what's really exciting is that it's accessible to everyone, from seasoned pros to those just starting their app development journey. It's like a big open door for anyone with a good idea and the passion to bring it to life.
Yeah, that open source nature is key. It really creates this sense of community and shared learning. The bar to entry is low, meaning more people can contribute, bring their unique talents and perspectives.
And that diversity of thought is so important for driving innovation. It's like this big melting pot of ideas where the best ones rise to the top and benefit everyone. But let's zoom out for a sec. We've been deep in the weeds of the toolkit. What other innovations are on the horizon for app development? What has you particularly excited?
Well, one thing that's really capturing my attention is the integration of artificial intelligence, or AI, and machine learning, or ML, into apps.
Right, AI and ML.
Yeah,
Seems like everyone's talking about them these days, but for good reason. The potential is just, it's limitless.
it really is. We're already seeing apps that use these technologies to personalize content, predict user behavior, even automate tasks. Imagine an app that learns your preferences over time and adapts its features to match your needs.
Yeah, it's like having a personal assistant right in your phone,
Yeah.
anticipating your every move.
Exactly. And as AI and ML technologies keep advancing, we'll see even more sophisticated and transformative applications. Think healthcare apps that analyze patient data to give personalized treatment recommendations, or educational apps that tailor the learning experience to each individual's strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, those are some powerful, impactful applications. It's amazing how AI and ML can be used to improve our lives in so many ways.
Yeah, and these are just a few examples, really just scratching the surface. The potential is vast and, in many ways, uncharted.
It's a very exciting time to be involved in app development, that's for sure. But it's not just about adding cool features for the sake of it. It's about using these powerful technologies to create meaningful experiences that truly benefit users.
Yeah, the tech itself is just a tool. It's up to us, the developers, to use it responsibly, ethically, to shape a better future.
Speaking of shaping the future, another trend that's changing the landscape is the rise of cross-platform frameworks like .NET MAUI. We've seen how powerful MAUI is, but why is this trend gaining so much momentum?
Well, it comes down to efficiency and reach. With cross-platform frameworks, developers write their code once and deploy it across multiple platforms: Android, iOS, Windows, macOS, all from one single code base. It saves so much time and resources.
So instead of building separate apps for each platform, you can essentially hit publish once and reach a much wider audience. That's a game changer.
Exactly. And in today's world, where everyone's constantly switching between devices, having a consistent app experience across those devices is key. Frameworks like .NET MAUI are making that seamless experience a reality.
It's like creating this universal language for apps, breaking down those barriers between different platforms and devices.
That's a great way to put it. And as these frameworks evolve, they'll become even more powerful and versatile, further blurring those lines.
It all sounds very promising. But I imagine there are also some challenges that come with using cross-platform frameworks.
Yeah, it's not without its hurdles. One of the biggest is making sure those apps run smoothly and look native on each platform. Each operating system has its own design language and user expectations. Developers need to be aware of those nuances.
So it's about finding the right balance between creating that consistent brand experience across platforms while also respecting the unique characteristics of each one.
Right, it requires a delicate touch and careful planning. Another challenge is dealing with platform-specific APIs and features. Not all features are available on every platform, and some work differently across platforms.
So it's a bit of a juggling act for developers, navigating those quirks while still maintaining a cohesive code base.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. But even with these challenges, the benefits of cross-platform development often outweigh the drawbacks, especially for apps that don't need highly specialized platform-specific features. As these frameworks mature, these challenges will become less and less of a roadblock.
It's fascinating to see all these trends converging, shaping the future of app development right before our eyes. But let's not forget about the human element here. The .NET MAUI Community Toolkit wouldn't exist without all those developers around the world contributing to it. What role do open source communities play in driving innovation in this space?
They're absolutely vital. Open source communities are the lifeblood of innovation in app development. They foster collaboration, knowledge sharing, and rapid iteration in a way that traditional closed source models just can't match.
It's like a global brainstorming session, developers from all walks of life coming together to share ideas, code, best practices. The .NET MAUI Community Toolkit is a perfect example of that collaborative spirit.
For sure. The fact that developers worldwide are contributing to this toolkit, making it better with each update, it's really inspiring. It shows the power of collective effort and the impact it can have on shaping the future of technology.
And that open source nature means everyone benefits from that knowledge. Developers can learn from each other's code, adapt it, and even contribute back to the community. It's a cycle of learning and improvement.
Exactly. It's a win-win for everyone. And this collaborative approach is becoming more and more important in this fast-paced world of app development where trends change so quickly and new technologies are always emerging.
It's like having a network of support, a constant flow of fresh ideas coming into the development process. So, for anyone listening who's feeling inspired, what are some key takeaways they should keep in mind as they start their own app development journey?
Well, first and foremost, remember that app development is constantly evolving. What's cutting edge today might be outdated tomorrow, so it's crucial to stay curious, keep learning, embrace new tech as it emerges.
Like being a lifelong student, always eager to learn more and push those boundaries.
Exactly. And the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit is a fantastic resource for staying up to date with the latest trends and innovations.
It's like a gateway to a world of possibilities, and with its open source nature and this vibrant community, anyone can join the adventure.
Absolutely. So if you're a developer or even just have an amazing app idea, don't hesitate. Dive in, explore the toolkit, see what you can create.
The future of app development is in your hands. Stay tuned because in the final part of this deep dive, we're taking a step back to think about the broader impact of these advancements and how to make sure that app development continues to benefit society as a whole. Welcome back to our deep dive. It's the final part of our exploration of the .NET MUI Community Toolkit. We've really gone through a lot, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. From those nitty-gritty details of the new features to these huge trends shaping the whole future of app development, it's been quite a journey.
It really has. We've seen how this toolkit is giving developers so much power to build amazing apps that just work smoothly across different platforms. And we talked about those mind-blowing possibilities just around the corner, like AI integration, the rise of cross-platform development. But before we finish up, I think we need to zoom out for a minute and consider the bigger picture.
Oh.
We've been focused on the how, right? How to build these apps, how the technology works.
Right.
But I think it's just as important to think about the why. Why are we building these apps? What impact are they actually having on the world?
That's a really important point. I think as developers, we've got to think beyond just the code and consider, what are the potential consequences of the technology that we're creating?
Yeah, it's not enough to just build something cool. We need to make sure it's something good, something that benefits everyone, society as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. And that means asking ourselves some tough questions. What are the potential downsides to these advancements? How can we reduce those risks? How do we make sure these technologies are being used ethically and responsibly?
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in all the excitement of these new possibilities.
Right.
But it's really crucial to take a step back and look at it all with a critical eye, with awareness.
Yeah.
We got to be mindful of the potential impact these technologies could have, both the good and the bad.
I agree. And it's not just about individual responsibility either. It's about building a culture of ethical development within the whole tech industry. We need to encourage open discussions, collaborations, and a shared commitment to building tech that really serves humanity.
Yeah. It's like, if you're building a house, you wouldn't just focus on making it beautiful.
Right.
You'd also make sure it had a strong foundation, that it was safe, and that it met the needs of the people who are going to be living in it. Building technology, it's not so different.
I love that analogy. We have to approach tech with that same level of care and consideration that we would if we were building a home. Make sure it's sustainable, accessible to everyone, and that it really contributes to a better future for everyone.
And I think that's where the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit really shines. It's not just this collection of tools. It's a community of people who are passionate about building tech that makes a difference.
Yeah, for sure. It's a community that values collaboration, sharing knowledge, having those open conversations. And I think that's key to building a more ethical and responsible tech industry.
It's inspiring to see developers from all around the world coming together like this to build something bigger than themselves. It gives me hope for the future of app development. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave everyone listening with a challenge. If you're a developer, even if you just have an amazing app idea, get involved. Explore the .NET MAUI Community Toolkit, join the conversation, and let's build a future where technology empowers everyone and helps create a more just and sustainable world. It's been a pleasure exploring all of this with you.
Likewise, it really has.
And to our listeners, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you've learned some valuable things and that you're feeling inspired to create something truly amazing. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.